Okay, so this is how this is gonna work. I'm on the fifth video. We're gonna make it the final video. As I said, combat stress, the whole world changes when somebody's throwing a punch at your face. The reason I say this is because I've told plenty of war stories and not to downgrade my enemies, not to embarrass someone or put them down, and that's why I leave names and shit off. Because it's not right to do that to anyone. When my fights happen, I have an instinctual fear of what I must do to survive a fight. And up until I was 12, I didn't have that problem because my fear of being beat at home outweighed my fear of being beat up by guys in the streets. Because I came from a family that if you lose, we're going to beat your ass and take you right back out there and make you fight the guy again and again and again. That wasn't an option. So that's why I didn't lose. My dad stopped my fighting at 12. I had 2 years of non-fighting, but I never stopped training until 14, 15. I had a few more fights. 14 was the one I told you in the video with the guy outboxing my ass. And then I went home to Charlottesville from there, and by the end of that school year, in the 8th grade, I had gotten into 4 fights in that week. Monday, I got into a physical fight with my friend. He kicked me in the ass, my face in the dirt. A reflex happened, and I spinning back kicked him in the face because it was a debate on if I was still a human being or not, and X-Men forever, because I clearly was an X-Men. Then I got into a fight on the bus that didn't get physical. It was just a verbal confrontation where I thought I was going to get beat up by 2 guys, but somebody on the bus who was my friend pumped up my martial art reputation to no level of ending, and so they ran. Then I fought that guy on the bus's brother who had a stick, and I picked up an iron pipe and I told him he can go first. Prior to us doing that, I had 3 guys on me, and I was pretending to be Rugged Ronnie Garvin, and my friend Dave was Sting. And he said, you know Kung Fu. I said, yeah, but Ronnie Garvin doesn't. He said, well, you don't know that, so use Kung Fu. So I got the guys off me, which is what led to the fight, because I kicked the guy in the gut just a little bit too hard. And he picked up a stick, I picked up an iron pipe, I said, you go first. So that's how that happened. Then I got into a fight the very next day because of my little sister hitting me with rocks, and then this guy had a superhero complex and tried to save her, but wound up getting into a fight himself with me and my McGregor golf cleats, which I still have, and I will make a video about that one day very soon. Possibly tomorrow if I remember. But those McGregor golf cleats saved my life. And as I said, when you're in a fight, everything changes. Everything. And I mean everything. Your plan goes out the window. Your thought process is like firing off. You're thinking 10,000 miles a second. And you're thinking, okay. And there are fists coming at you, and you're boom, 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 or you're blocking, you're doing stuff. In this particular fight with the guy who was way bigger than me, but he was 13 and I was 15. But he was a giant. And I respected him every day after that, as he has respected me every day after that, because neither one of us thought the other one was going to win. I wasn't fighting to win. I was fighting to survive. He was fighting because I hauled off and stole him in the face because he was trying to help my sister. So I wasn't exactly in the wrong, but I damn sure wasn't in the right. And I had a problem with the guy before, but we didn't go physical. And then the first time we had problems, I told him, it's going to be a reckoning between the 2 of us. It ain't going to work out in your favor. At that time, I was popping shit because I was small, I was overconfident in my skills, and I didn't think that I could be beat. Because I also knew that my big sister was beating my ass on a regular daily. So I knew I wasn't going to let this big, burly fuck beat my ass. That wasn't going to happen. You know? And like I said, we had conflict before, but our conflicts never got physical until that day. And on that day, I learned two very important things. One, I'm a fuck lot better than I thought I was. And two, fear saved my life. When I stole him in the face and he pushed me back, I slid a good 4 feet. And that's how big he was, because he was like way up here. He couldn't stand in here at full height. You know, he had to crouch down a bit. I, luckily enough, am short. And when he pushed me, I slid from where my computer is to where I'm standing right now. And I slid to a complete stop in my McGregor golf cleats, and I got ready. And when he came at me, the only thing I could think to do was front axe kick. So, boom! Drove it in him. You know? And this is where shit got real. That shit didn't hurt him. It did not hurt him at all. If anything, it pissed him off. And here's my perception of that. My soul literally said, "Shh! You're dead, buddy." And my body's like this the whole time. And it was like watching a movie. It was literally like watching a movie. I knew one thing about this guy, and only one thing. And that's what I had to use to win. I knew that I was healthier. I knew he had asthma. And I know y'all see them damn lights. Anyway, I tried to induce an asthma attack. Simple as that. Now, what I remember and what other people told me I did, I'm going with what I remember. I will give you what they told me I did. I remember throwing 3 left punches. I don't remember this thing ever leaving the chamber. All I remember was asthma attack, asthma attack, asthma attack. If you can induce an asthma attack, you can win this fight. Which goes back to The Art of War, because I did read that book. Most of it. Okay, damn near all of it. Know thy enemy, know thyself, and thou shalt never know defeat. Sun Tzu. So I knew my enemy, I knew myself. And on that day, I did not know defeat. At least not from him. My big sister, on the other hand, has always had my number. So, until we moved over here. So, prior to that, you know, I remember asthma attack. Because most of the people that I have had conflict with have had some kind of physical deficiency. A lot of the guys that are big, burly bitches have had some asthma issues. I knew this guy had asthma because I was there the day the ambulance came and took him to the hospital. And I asked what happened, and they said he had an asthma attack. Okay, I never forgot that because him and I had conflict before. So I said, if I ever have to fight this big burly bastard, I'm going to induce an asthma attack. And that's what saved my life in those McGregor golf leagues. So when the shit hit the fan and he went like this, I went like this. Boom, boom, boom. And I was trying to give him an asthma attack. More or less, the layman's term was, in those terms back then, they probably would have said I was trying to kill him. Because if he can't breathe, he can't hurt you. That was one of the things I was taught. If you know about your enemy's weakness, you exploit it. Just like in wrestling, when someone gets hurt, they always work on that one body part. Because eventually, a person's going to stop using it. It's going to hurt so bad that it's not going to function. So I knew if I can induce an asthma attack. Now, I remember 3 punches and him fading back. What people have told me who saw the fight was I hit him about 15 times. Till this day, at 46 years old, I will never believe that I hit somebody 15 times with both hands. I remember throwing 3 punches, and that's where I'm leaving it. I threw 3 left punches. My right hand, I don't remember using it. So it could have happened. I'm going to say it didn't. But I know what I did, and they know what they saw. And what they saw wasn't what I believed that I did. I'll let them have that. No. But I will say this, after this fight, no one in the projects ever fucked with me again. No one called me Danielle LaRusso. No one called me Kung Fu Joe. And nobody ever wanted to fuck with me ever again. Even the guy that I won. We became friends after that. Really good friends. He came when he dove at me. He had some help from someone that will be left out. And when he dove at me, I had just stepped back, and he grabbed my right foot because that was the foot that kicked him. And I had my left foot, and his partner grabbed me, and I went to go hit this person, but I don't hit females. And my arm would not leave the chamber. It was locked and loaded. It just would not discharge. So I'm getting pulled this way and getting pulled that way. And I thought to myself, if he gets me on the ground, I'm going to die. I'm going to straight die. Because every fight before that, when I was a kid, when I was from 12 to 6, I was always told, if you get on the ground, get back up. Don't let them get you on the ground, because then they're going to beat your shit. And that was the only thing in my head. And my left leg was the only free item I had. And I took down my McGregor golf kicks. So I got up. After he got off me, cop came, dusted him off. Now when I say that, I was never really on my back or anything. He was just hanging on to me, and his partner was hanging on to me. So when I got up, it was basically I got my foot back. And the cop came, dusted him off, sent him and his partner the hell on. My sister and his sister were rumbling, so they broke that fight up and sent them the hell on. Then the cop got in my face and told me that if I got in one more fight that week, the week was over. It was Friday. And I was like 2 days away from going to my dad's house in Smithfield. And he said if I got in one more fight, they were going to kick us out of West Haven. I looked at the cop and I said, well, fuck you. We're moving anyway. I didn't know we were moving. I had heard we might be moving, but I never knew it. I never believed it. Because it's like when you live in the projects, to hear you're moving out of the projects is like a dream. You know, it's like you got high or something, and you're never going. You're never gonna leave because that's where poor people live. You know, you're poor. You're gonna stay poor. You're gonna be in the projects until you die, and that's what I always thought. That we would never leave the projects ever. That I would never be able to get a successful job and get out of the projects ever. So while that was going on, my mom and my big sister was buying a house. I never knew. They were buying a house. And when I went away for the summer and I came back, I was going back to the projects, and that didn't happen. So, when you're in a fight, when you are having someone bigger, stronger, possibly better, throwing a punch at you, everything in here is going in every possible direction. And you're not thinking, I'm going to ninja kick this guy in the face. You're not thinking, I'm going to punch this guy in the throat. None of that shit matters. Because when you are in a fight, a real, live, honest-to-God fight, whether it's in that ring or whether it's on the streets, the only thing you're thinking of is, oh shit. Trust me when I tell you, and I can tell you from all my fights, the only thing I've ever thought of when I was in trouble was the words, oh shit. Because they were always bigger than me. I've never fought anybody smaller than me. Ever. Not even while training. I've always been paired with people bigger than me. I've always sparred with people bigger than me. I've never found someone my size that I can actually spar with and that can keep up and go with. Now that I'm crippled, that's probably not an issue. But the whole thing is, when you are in a fight, as Ramsey Dewey says, combat stress is right there. It is the center of your world. It is the thing that you have to adapt to and you have to be prepared for. And if you are not, you are in deep, deep shit. You can't afford to be stuck worrying about winning or losing when a fist is flying at you. You have to be prepared. So, I made a few movies. I've told you this story before, so I'll give you the cliff notes. I never wanted to be an actor. Never. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to teach young kids of color that there's better jobs out there for us than smoking dope and drinking beer and getting addicted to crack and all this other shit. And then things changed. And people destroyed my dreams. Then I had my stepmother decide that, you're pretty fast with that martial arts stuff. Maybe you ought to get into acting. And henceforth began my 19-year journey. Although technically it took me a while to decide. Because when she told me that I was 23 and I had just elbowed the shit out of my dad. And by the time I was 27, I went through a lot of stuff with family drama. And acting seemed to be the thing that I wanted to do. The problem was there was no opportunity. And opportunity came, it just wasn't for me. Which is why now that there's YouTube, I'm still living the dream, but not achieving the goal. So, when I threw that elbow, it was the pebble that got dropped in the water and started the ripples. Then the studio came to Petersburg, and I'm not a member of SAG with the family, and I was promiscuously walked off. So I made some movies. I'm going to put them all up eventually. Because I just talked to CLS today. I will be getting my hard drive soon, and I will be getting to work on that. So, doing that, I got my shit together. And after I got my shit together, I had little to no options and little to no success. But I have been very successful at failing for making movies or getting into this business. But I will tell you, I haven't given up. And why did I bring it up? Because when you are in a fight for the movies, it's worked out, it's choreographed over and over and over and over. And every now and again you throw some dialogue in there and you got a movie. And it's a good movie. And you get to practice all of the styles that you've worked so hard for. Before the hip replacement, I had a good drunken master sway. Now I can't because my hip replacement has limited my sway from being way here and way here, because now I can't do any of that. So now I have to rely on a short range sway to fight. So if I'm doing drunken master and you're doing capoeira, I have to short wave that, my sway has to be short range, big time. And if I'm doing snake, if I'm doing crane, if I'm doing mantis, I am limited to what part I can do now, because for mantis, anything that requires a leaping strike, like if I'm going to leap and double strike you in your 2 points here, it's a little bit out. So I'd have to 1 strike, 2 strike, and if I have to get the chance to leap, same thing with the tiger, if I want to leap and scratch, it's limited because of the hip. 45% of my arsenal is gone for life. My wushu is gone for life. I cannot do wushu anymore. I'm not allowed to even think about doing wushu. So all the fancy stuff, I can watch it, I can enjoy it, but I can't get out there and practice it because wushu has a lot of high-flying shit. And I'm not allowed to do that. My body won't allow me to do that. Some of the things I can't even remember doing. So it's kind of a win-win. When you are in the midst of a real hardcore fight, either in the UFC or MMA, the cages, in the streets, you need to know how to handle you. Before you can handle the asshole across the field that's got this thing going with you that you're about to rumble, you need to know how to handle you. So in all these 5 videos, it boils you down to the one simple fact. You are the master of you. So you need to know what works for you. If someone's charging and you give them a knee, and you're not a strong fighter, then you need to be a smart fighter. So if they're, boom, when you knee them and you back fist them, you need to hit them in this place right here to try to end the fight swiftly. If that doesn't work and you knee them and then you elbow them, you need to know how to hit them effectively without killing them. So you want to elbow them basically between the forehead and the nose. But if it's a serious fight, you're going to hit them in the nose because you want to bring them down swiftly. If you don't have a whole lot of fighting skills, then you need to have a whole lot of brains. And you also have to be able to deal with the combat stress that comes with it, because you're dealing with combat stress, rage, anger, and more importantly, an adrenaline rush. Because when you get angry, your adrenaline spikes. So if you knee them and elbow them, or knee them and back fist them, you need to be prepared for that. And that's in the event that they're doing a straight punch or a stepping jab. And if you bat it away and you strike, or if you break it kung fu style, because this was the same thing as you batting it away and striking. But if you break it instead of batting it, you're like crack. And that's this punch. One hand here, because you can do it this way. But if you do it this way, you're clapping. So one hand here, and you're cramping and then you're snapping. So, you know, it's their momentum and their force behind that punch is what breaks their arm. It's not necessarily just you. And if you can't break the arm, then you can at least evade it. Boom! When it slides all the way through, you strike. Here. Here. Depending on how the fight winds up putting your body in what position. In the end, the first fight you must win is the fight within yourself. Because you need to be ready. You're going to face so much shit at so much of a time, at so many seconds at a time, that you need to do the shit. And that's how that works. James Williams Jr., come having to BC and you.